The recent surge in China's stock market, hailed as a bull market, has attracted a wave of young investors. One university student jumped in, only to see her stocks drop quickly, leaving her feel trapped and in tears.
完了，我
It's over
太
for
失
me.
望
My
了，
whole life
我
is
再也找
over.
回不
I'll
了这
never
个
recover from
今
this.
年将
Today,
近
I
1
opened
倍
my
的
eyes and lost over
我几个月
10,000
的
yuan.
工资拿
That's
了，
months
我
of
就
my salary. How long will it take
昨
me to
天他
make
们好
that
像
back?
辛苦，还有我今
Yesterday,
天
the
才会
market looked so
拉一
good.
点，
I
大
thought
家都
today
会
might
都
rise a
都
little.
都会
Everyone said
避
it would
开保守
open
的来
low
选
and
择。
then climb high.
我想
I was
估
going to
量，
sell in the morning,
那大
but
家
then I
想一
thought
想，
the
想
market
着它
might
可能
bounce
又
back
像
in the
昨天一样
afternoon
下
like
午又拉回
yesterday.
去，大家就
Everyone
会
was
可能
saying the
会
same thing,
等
so
一
I
等，
waited. Now it feels like the
一旦
losses
感觉
just
亏
won't
损就
stop,
止不住了，
and
就
all
我
my
手上
stock
还
have
有
hit
钱
the
都
limit
跌停了，
down.
我卖都
I
卖
can't
不
even
出去，我
sell
现在
them.
卖都
I
卖
really
不出
don't know
去。
what to do. My losses are only getting worse. China's stock market has been highly volatile. After 2 days of rising, it dropped sharply. The younger generation, known for resisting mortgages and car loans, turned to the stock market. Many, however, got stuck in losing position right after entering. On October 9, as the market fell, young investors who bought at the peak of 3,700 shared their frustrations on social media.
又他妈骗我
I've
钱，
been scammed
又
again,
他妈
lost
骗
money
我钱，
again. This is
真的
so ridiculous. If
太
I
难
keep trading
看了，
stocks, I must
太
be a
难
fool.
看
Let me
了，
tell
真
you,
的
this
太
damn
难
market
看
was
了。
supposed to be full of opportunities. I jumped
我
in
这我
today,
我再也
barely
炒不
short of
票，
margin
我
trading,
再也炒不
rushed
票，就
in
是
like a
够了，我真
madman.
的，
Was
真
I
的是
asking
够
for
了，
it?
我跟你说，
In China's secondary
这搞
market,
市场
95%
真
of
的
people never make
出
money
这么
long
大的
term.
利
I
好，
thought this
我
bull
净买
market
今
would
年
finally give me a chance. So I moved
净买
tens of
融资融
thousands
券
I
啊，
had in the bank and went
马
all
不
in,
停蹄赶
and
进来，
now I'm
赶
stuck
进来，
again with
赶进来
everything
吃
locked
屎
in.
啊！
Following the October holiday, a new wave of investors entered the market, including students. Some used their summer job earnings, hoping for quick profits, but instead suffered painful losses.
已经2天晚上
I
睡不
haven't
着
been
了。
able to sleep for
我
two
这条
nights
视频
now.
屏
I've
蔽了
blocked all
所
my
有的
family
家
and
人和
friends from
朋友。
seeing this
前
video.
几
A few
天
days
说
ago,
好
I
了这波
promised I
行
wouldn't
情
get
要
involved
稳
in this
住，
wave of
坚决
market
不
hype,
能入。
that I'd
又
stay
有多少
steady.
人和
But
我
how
一
many
样悄
people
悄的
like me
加了
secretly
仓？
added more
本来
money
想着
in?
趁着
I
这
was
波行
hoping
情可以
to
多
make
赚
some
点儿，
extra
让自
gains
己
to
更
feel
有
more
底气一
secure.
些。
And now I've thrown
这下
in
好
all
了，
my private
把自
savings,
己仅
watching
有
the
的私
stock
房
drop
钱也
more
给
and
投
more. I
进去
feel
了。
like a complete joke. I don't
看
even
着那
dare to
个
check
数
what's
字越来
happening
越多。
today. These young investors with no experience in market crashes enter the stock market with high hopes. However, the market's decline after the National Day holiday gave them a harsh reality check. For years, China's stock market has caused heavy losses for investors. Since first reaching 3,000 points in 2007, the market has struggled to rise. Even when it briefly surged to 4,000 or 5,000 points, it usually crashed afterward. Critics claim the market is manipulated, with the Chinese government and unethical companies working together to deceive investors. For over 30 years, retail investors have been treated as easy targets. Earlier this year, China's Security Regulatory Commission introduced reforms to boost the market. The goal was to create a bull market, even if it meant artificially inflating prices. On September 24th, regulators announced more economic stimulus, including interest rate cuts and cash injections. The market quickly responded with a sharp rise. As the market rallied, it attracted more investors. Some took out loans using low-interest consumer loans to leverage their investments. Brokerage accounts were overwhelmed with new applications, and experts fueled the hype, saying the bull market has arrived. On September 30th, the market surged further, with thousands of stocks hitting their daily limit. After the holiday, the market opened with a significant drop. On October 8, the market first surged, but then fell sharply. That day saw the highest single-day trading volume ever, nearly 3.5 trillion yuan. On October 9, the market dropped again, with thousands of stocks hitting their daily lower limit. On October 10, the market showed mixed results. It dropped at first, then rebounded slightly. On October 11, the market plunged again, leaving investors in despair. Social media was flooded with complaints from young investors, many realizing too late that they had been trapped. Some speculated the government had engineered the rally to shift debt into middle-class investors. Ironically, it was the younger generation that took the hit. What's more surprising is that many of these young investors were using borrowed money to trade. Most of them are barely in their 20s and have no real income. They use platforms like Huabei, Jiebei, and credit cards to borrow large sums for the market. According to media reports, despite the market being closed during the National Day holiday, the number of new brokerage accounts hit a record high. Over 70% of the new investors were born in the 90s and 2000s. On social media, there has been more discussion about borrowing to invest. Some users are debating whether to take on more debt, encouraged by low interest rates. Others were eager to enter the market as soon as their loans were approved. In the days before the holiday, banks promoted consumer loan offers aggressively. Interest rates were as low as 1.8%. Some even offered special loans for stock market investments, further driving the frenzy. A manager at a state-owned bank said there was a significant rise in loan applications before the holiday, with many people looking to enter the stock market. One bank insider revealed that during the holiday, over 7 billion yuan was issued in consumer loans. This amount surpassed the loans issued during Lunar New Year. Banks are now overwhelmed with loan applications, mostly from young investors. However, the recent wild market swing have left many of these new investors trapped, losing significant amounts of money. One investor remarked in a chat group, just as the crop started to grow, the side came down. Frustrated young investors are now drafting open letters targeting stock market manipulators. They say this stock market rally is a national battle and that we, the younger generation, are just crops waiting to be cut. Well, let me tell you, we are patriots and we're diving in. In our company, over 20 of us, all born after 2000, have invested more than 10 million yuan together. We are sending a clear warning to the capital markets. Don't cut us down. Our money comes from credit cards and online loans. If you try to cut us, we won't repay. Let's see who's really the crop. So what if my credit is ruined? So what if I'm sued or frozen, betrayed by friends, looked down on by relatives? None of it matters. No one wants me. That's fine. Let the storm hit harder. Just remember, as long as we're alive, that's all that matters. Young people borrowing money to trade stocks is now raising concerns among banks. Recently, dozens of banks have issued warnings saying that credit funds must not be used in the stock market. In response to the rising trend of young people borrowing to invest in stocks, banks have begun calling borrowers, asking them to repay their loans.
喂，帅哥，
Hello, handsome. The bank
帅哥，
manager just
帅
called
哥
me.
问银行
They
的经
said
理
their
通知我
system
说是系
flagged the
统监
loan
测
you
到你
took
公
out
司
before
欠他们一
National
笔贷
Day.
款，现在说
Apparently,
是
there's
资
an
金流
issue
变有
with
问
where
题，
the
说不
funds
能给
went
贷
and
款，
they want the
你
loan
是不是
back.
要去查
Did
股
you
的
use
呀？
that money for stocks?
Loan? What loan? That was money I earned from selling my credit score, not a loan.
Come on, that's nonsense. You're saying if the stocks goes up, it's yours, but if they go down, it's the bank's problem? It doesn't work that way.
No, you've got it wrong. If the market goes up, everyone does well. If it goes down, well, like I said, it wasn't a loan. It's money from selling my credit score.
Look,
我是
handsome,
说
I'm
的，我
telling
跟你
you,
说，你
if
要
you
是不
don't pay
还
it
的话，
back,
你的
it's
资
going
金
to
会
mess
受
up
到
your
影响
credit
的，严
score.
重的话也
And
会
if it
影响
gets
你的还
serious,
贷，
it'll affect your
知道吧？
future, maybe even your kids.
What future? It doesn't affect me at all. I don't have kids, and I'm not getting married.
Someone commented and said, many of us born in the 90s and 2000s are using loans to invest. If we make money, we'll repay the interest. But if we lose, we won't repay the loan. They added, if you dare to cut us, we won't repay. Let's see who the real crop is. This time, the synth hit something tough. The target was supposed to be the middle class, but instead it's a group of highly leveraged young investors. After the holiday, banks and loan platforms are feeling the pressure. Before and during the holiday, there was a surge in loan applications. Bank thought they would profit from the interest. Now they're worried they might even lose the original loan amounts. Some wonder if these young people will default if they lose money trading stocks. For the 2000s generation, the mindset is simple. If I make money, great. If I lose, I just won't repay. So what if I can't take the high-speed train or buy plane tickets? Many of the 2000s generations believe that if the bank offers loans, it should accept the risk of non-repayment. One of them commented on social media, this isn't a loan, it's a bank investment in me. I'm just selling my credit worthiness for the money. Another said, I'll buy stock from the company I borrowed money from. If I lose, I'll use their stock to repay the debt. As for the risk of damaging their credit, this group of young people aren't too worried. They think bad credit won't matter since many aren't planning to get married or have kids. Their attitude is basically, we're not afraid of being cut down. If you cut us, we'll cut the bank. I'm holding the bag for the country, so the bank will have to hold the bag for me. When the situation worsened after the holiday, the government quickly acted, banning bank loans from entering the stock market. If loans aren't repaid, bad debts will increase. If the amount gets too big, it could lead to bank failures and financial crises. The 2000s generation is proving to be a serious force. Banks were caught off guard by these young investors. Now regulators are scrambling to stop bank credits from flowing into the stock market. On October 8, a central bank affiliated media outlet announced that financial regulators had issued guidance to banks prohibiting credit funds from entering the stock market illegally. After that, over 30 rural banks and credit cooperatives issued statements warning that credit funds must not flow into the stock, bonds, futures, or wealth management markets. They said if any credit funds are found in these areas, the loans will be recalled early. Banks are now more cautious about lending. They're asking borrowers upfront about how they plan to use the money, which has made it harder for those who really need loans to access funds. The young investors Yeager borrowed money to trade stocks. On October 8, she made a large investment, but by the close of trading on October 9, her account showed a loss of 16,000 yuan. After days of emotional highs and lows, Yeager admitted she had been driven by emotion. She had borrowed 280,000 yuan, the largest sum of money she had ever handled. Watching her daily losses exceed her monthly salary made her gasp. She regretted rushing into the market. Yeager explained that she originally had 300,000 yuan given by her parents to buy a house. The money was tied up in a fixed-term financial product, but the market wouldn't wait, so she used that product as collateral to borrow 280,000 yuan. Losing all of it would hurt her family, while a 30,000 to 50,000 yuan loss might be manageable. She said if her mother found out, she'd be scolded for a year. Yeager advised new investors not to borrow money to trade stock. She said protecting your funds is the most important thing. Retail investors are at a disadvantage in terms of knowledge, information, and capital. This amplifies the emotional swings in China's stock market. The lack of risk awareness, chaotic decision-making, and limited expertise often lead to heavy losses in volatile markets. The confidence that investors had before the National Day holiday was now vanished. While retail investors are stuck, major shareholders and institutional investors have been leaving the market. Between September 24th and October 11, 172 listed companies announced plans to reduce their holdings. Among the many young investors who lost money, one of the hardest hit is a second-generation heir. He was one of the first victims of this market frenzy. In a live stream by a vlogger known as Little Lamb Who Loves Finance, the heir revealed that he had invested 83 million yuan of his own capital, leveraged it to 250 million yuan, and entered the market on October 8th. That day, he lost 30 million yuan. By October 9, his losses exceeded 100 million yuan. He explained that if things don't turn around quickly, his 83 million yuan might shrink to just about 200,000 or 300,000 yuan. He said the villa, large apartments, and 20 commercial properties he had mortgaged could all be lost. Even 3 generations of accumulated wealth could disappear overnight. He admitted he couldn't handle it and wouldn't know how to explain it to his family. Blinded by the stock market's allure, he saw his assets shrink rapidly and now faces heavy debt. His family made their money in real estate and was quite wealthy, but the stock market fascinated him and he became hooked. At first, he followed the advice of a so-called stock market guru from Shanghai and invested 5 million yuan, but the stock kept falling. Unable to take the losses, he sold it at a loss, then the stock surged again, leaving him furious. In September, there were rumors everywhere that the stock market would soar. Before the holiday, he put all his money into the market, expecting big gains after the holiday. But in just a few days, he found himself trapped. He was nearly forced to liquidate by the leveraged trading company. The trend of young people borrowing to trade stock is growing, but it carries huge risks. Chinese entrepreneur Mr. Wang commented that the Chinese Communist Party was caught off guard by these young people borrowing from banks to trade stocks. Some said, I maxed out my credit cards and online loans. I'm betting everything. If I lose, it's your money, not mine. Don't expect me to repay it. It's like everyone borrowed from the rich man and the rich man pushed the market up. Then everyone rushed in with borrowed money. Now the rich man is stunned. He wanted to harvest a crop, but instead the money they borrowed from him was invested back into the market. Mr. Wang is not optimistic about the future of China's stock market. I don't think this market will last long. Look at the 2015 surge. It crashed in 2016 and hasn't recovered since. The government's attempt to save the market, including pension funds, are still trapped. The government tried to prop up the market before the holiday, but foreign investment funds have been flowing out. The outflows are in the hundreds of billions. Economist Hua Shen recently wrote an article warning that when market sentiment is running high, investors should be careful of a sharp crash. Hua stated, "A gradual wave-like bull market driven by economic fundamentals is what serves investors' interest in the long term. Sharp rises and falls do not."